One. So in today's class, I'm going to explain you one case study. Like if you watch this video thoroughly till end, then you will be able to get 100 out of 100 marks in case study. Like 100% marks are really, really easy to get in case studies if you technically handle it, right? So in this class, I'll explain you how to get full marks in case study. So this case study is relevant to June 2023 exam series. And this is the data that I'll be showing you on the screen, and you can just take the screenshot. And yeah, you can like stop the video, read the question, right? So read the case study first, and then we will move to the questions, right? So I'm showing you the screen. You can keep reading the case study first. Graph in the case study is really important, and you have to see what this graph actually shows. In this graph, you can see we have unemployment rate on Y, and this is like timeline on X. Years are starting from July 2020 and ending at May 2021, and these are the years in between them. And this data is relevant to India's unemployment rate July 2020 to May 2021. Okay, so you can see there are like different inflation rates, unemployment rates in this data. 7.4% in July 2020, 8.4% in August 2020, and 6.7% in September, so and so on and so forth. Okay, so you can see that there is a little fluctuation in the rate of inflation, rate of unemployment in Indian economy over the given range of time. And the highest rate of inflation is in May 2021. Okay, so unemployment, however, is increasing continuously, but the rate of increase in unemployment is fluctuating over time. Okay, so then read this next paragraph as well. Reading the case study is really important, so you must read it carefully. Okay, stop the video and read this paragraph as well. And now I'm moving to the questions part, right? So these are the questions. And I'll discuss each question one by one so that you understand how to answer that. The first question is using the data in figure 1.1, calculate the change in India's unemployment rate between July 2020 and May 2021. So these are the 2 years. One is July 2020 and the other is May 2021. So you have to find the change in unemployment rate, right? So we will go back to the given table or diagram. So these are the 2 years. One is July 2020 and the other is May 2021. So in May 2021, we can see that the rate of inflation is 11.9%. And in July 2020, the inflation rate is 7.4. So we will just find out the difference between them. 11.9 minus 7.4% will give us 11.9 minus 7.4. All these figures are in percentage. So it will be like 4.5, and we will put percentage sign here because all these values are in percentages. So the answer will be the change in unemployment rate in July from July 2020 to May 2021 in India is 4.5%, right? Okay, so now moving, there is one alternative solution to this question as well, but I think this is the most simple thing that I have told you. Moving to the next question, this was the complete answer for 2 marks. Part B is using the information provided, explain how agriculture caused seasonal unemployment in India in 2020, December to 2020. Right, so you have to find out how it caused seasonal unemployment, right? If we move back to the data, then data clearly like mentions that December is not a good month for India because it is mainly dependent upon agriculture sector. If you read this, you will find this information here that in December 2020, the job losses from agriculture were 9.8 million, right? What was the reason for that? You can see the reason here. December is not a good month in which farming can absorb labor, right? This is the month when it needs fewer workers. So this is like kind of seasonal unemployment because in December season, what happens is okay, many workers lose their jobs, right? Because December is not a good month for India, and mainly it depends on agriculture sector. Okay, so the next question is part C. Consider the extent to which difficulties may arise in measuring unemployment in India, right? यहाँ पे if you look into to the data, you will find that India is mainly dependent upon agriculture sector, and agriculture sector is an informal sector there. Informal sector is basically the sector that is not properly documented, right? So if a certain sector is not properly documented and we don't have relevant data, then it will be really tough for us as an economist to find out or measure or calculate the rate of inflation. So same is happening here, right? So Indian economy is mainly dependent upon the informal sector, that is agriculture sector. So when informal sector dominates the industry, definitely it is really tough to find relevant data, relevant data in the economy. So when we don't have relevant data, sufficient data, then it causes like problems for the economists to find out or calculate or measure unemployment in an economy. So same is happening with India. So you will have to explain this. And the next part is assess whether seasonal unemployment is likely to be more serious problem than frictional unemployment in Indian economy. Keep in mind when question starts with the term assess, then it means you have to explain the two given like scenarios, and then you have to evaluate them as well. At the end, you will have to give a comprehensive conclusion as well. Okay, so first you have to explain what seasonal unemployment is. Like we see here, December is not good month for agriculture, so it is a bad season for India, so seasonal unemployment is caused. So seasonal unemployment causes because of the changes in season when demand for a certain industry falls. For example, like agriculture sector. And frictional unemployment occurs when a person is between two jobs. Sometimes what happens is one person leaves one job and tries to find out the better option, and for that he spends some time that is like that he remains unemployed. So such kind of unemployment is frictional unemployment, and it also happens when people are unable to move to another geographical area, or they cannot move to another profession as well. So this is like why frictional unemployment is caused. Frictional unemployment is not harmful to an economy because it like does not affect a lot of people. Only a few people or at individual level it influences the person. But in seasonal unemployment, we can see that a lot of people relevant to that industry that loses its season will lose jobs. So it affects the industry a lot, economy a lot. So you have to explain what seasonal and frictional unemployment are. You can give examples, and then you can explain how seasonal can be harmful and how frictional can be harmful. And at the end, you can say that seasonal is definitely more harmful than frictional unemployment. And the last part is assess the possible measures that could be taken to increase employment in a country such as India. Right? So examiner is asking you to give like the policy measures. right? So there at macroeconomic level, since employment and unemployment are the part of like macroeconomy, so we will have to use macroeconomic policies to affect employment or increase employment in India. So what are the macroeconomic policies? Keep in mind whenever question is from macroeconomics, so you have to use three policies. The one is fiscal policy, and the other one is monetary policy, and the third one is supply side policy. Supply side policy. Right, so you can use these policies. You can explain one measure of this, and this, right? And at the end, you can evaluate them as well. So fiscal policy is related to taxes and government expenditure. If government wants to increase employment, then government should decrease tax and increase government expenditure. Monetary policy should decrease interest rate so that more people get loans and invest into the business. Supply side policy may use education and training of workers if workers lose their basically skill level and their skill is no more needed, and then they need to get further education and training, so supply side policy can help them out. So education and training of workers is the part of supply of labor. So supply side policy contains like multiple policies including subsidy, including education and training of workers, infrastructure projects, right? Privatization. These are multiple policies that are used by supply side policy. So you can explain any one of them. So you can say that education and training of workers can enhance skill of the workers so they can get more productive, efficient, and they can get into employment again. And at the end, you have to evaluate these policies like education and training may be ineffective if workers are reluctant to learn new stuff, and you can say that it may lead to budget deficit of the government as well. And sometimes what happens is brain drain occurs, people leave the country, and sometimes these policies also have definitely opportunity costs as well. So you have to explain against these policies, and at the end, you can say that which one of them is most important to correct unemployment rate in Indian economy. Okay, so these are the possible answers. Now look into the exact answers. What should you write in your answers? So these are the exact answers for this question. And yeah, you can read the questions again and you can see how to answer part A. These are the exact answers to get 100% marks. And this is the answer for part B. So you can stop the video, read the question carefully and answer as well. And this is part C. Read it thoroughly. And then part D, you can stop the video and read it. Right, I'm showing you the answers. Okay, the last part is part E. And this is part E of this question. So you read it carefully as well. Again, stop the video. And I believe you got the idea how to answer case study for 100% marks. And believe me, this is really simple to answer case study, but in most of the cases, people don't get good marks. On average, like people get 4 or 5 marks out of 20 because they don't actually understand the questions and requirement of the question and they can't connect it to the case study. So if you get the skill of solving case studies and like how to exactly answer the questions, then you can get full marks. So this is it for this case study, and further see you with the next case study soon, inshallah. Right, so I have also started lecture series for June 2026. If you follow that, you will be able to revise the entire syllabus as well. So I have already done 5 chapters so far, and you can like watch the videos and on routine basis I'll continue like posting further videos as well. So see you in the next video, inshallah. Allah Hafiz.